When you're in your collective society and they say being divergent is wrong, I don't think so. We're here tonight at Brennan Theaters watching Insurgent, the Divergent series. I said it like Yoda, the Divergent series, Insurgent. To see last week's video, go on ahead and click the little logo down there in the corner. This movie was a lot better than the first one. I feel the first one, they had major pacing issues where it's like, hey, an hour and a half in this thing and we're finally gonna do stuff. This one, I understand it's a sequel, so the action's already rolling off, starting. But even when they were doing their talking to give you exposition, and that still wasn't boring. They nipped out all the bull crap, long stairs. I'm divergent. They cut all that out and just kind of got to the point. I like that. This movie was pushing 2 hours. It didn't really feel 2 hours. We watched this movie in 3D. We normally don't do 3D movies. Honestly, the 3D factor only pays off when they're in the simulations. They're doing kind of like the whole Matrix thing, and they're doing this and breaking stuff and it's flying everywhere. When the particles are everywhere, that feels cool because you feel like you're part of it. But other than that, when they're not in the simulation, the 3D's kind of nah. The acting, nothing special. There are a couple of scenes in this movie where they do start going to the human emotion, start tugging on your heartstrings, and I like that. Especially when they use kids. When kids are used for anything, whether it's good, evil, bad, when kids are used, it can go any which way. It's definitely like, it appeals to the human nature of like, oh my God, that's up. Like, couple little twists and surprises in this. I didn't read the books. I have no idea what to compare it to. As a movie, it was good. Miles Teller did a good job. I liked his character. His character is worth the watch. I feel he's your wild card. You think you got him figured out, you don't. All the returning cast came back, and I like that. There wasn't like, hey, I changed because, no negotiations broke down. I liked how they started to kind of delve into more of the factions and the divergence and why this is good, why this is bad, get more of the bigger picture, and I like that. What I didn't like was the ridiculous cliffhanger ending, because we're going to make another movie where it's like, oh my God, you're killing me, and then if I don't get another one, it's going to piss me off with the way you ended it, because well, I'll never know what's going to happen, I guess I have to read the damn book. To see what the other Divergents had to say, we're going to check that out right now. You're a fan of this series, so I want to know your thoughts, opinions, how you feel about it.
I am a fan of this series. I've never actually read the books. I didn't even know the books existed before the first movie came out, but when I watched the first movie, as you can see in our review for the first movie, I was very much for it. Actually, at our group, I think I was the one that enjoyed it the most. I think I gave it the highest score.
I think so too.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. I liked the concept of it, whereas the first movie was more of a young adult-focused movie, more of a Twilight, first Hunger Games concept, where it's focusing on the romance, the relationships. The second movie was really more of an action drama movie. It focused more on the revolutionary aspect. It focused more on the overarching story than it did just on a couple or two or three characters like the first one did. And I like that. It really takes a story that's zoomed in and it zooms it out to see everything going on. Gives you a bigger picture. You lets you see the rest of the factions that you didn't really see a whole lot of in the other movie. And I like that. I like seeing the other factions. There are some pretty bad lines, especially towards the beginning of the movie, that made me worry that this was going to be really cheesy and underdone. There were some lines delivered by the main actors that I was just like, oh, I could have wrote that 15 better ways than that. That was really bad. But as you get a little bit into it, it starts to roll really well. And the what's going on and the importance of what's going on and the decisions and the way they decided to take everything, I thought was really well done. The visuals were fantastic. In the first movie, you've got the simulations. In this movie, obviously, if you've seen the teaser trailer, there's way more of that kind of thing in here, and it's done really, really well. This specific movie we watched in 3D. I was given the choice, being the fan, and I'm like, we got to watch it in 3D. I think it added to it with the simulation scenes and the special effects, but to be honest, I don't think it added too much to the overall movie experience. I don't think it wouldn't have changed my opinion of it at all if I saw it in 3D versus 2D. Now, when I go to buy it on Blu-ray, I'll buy it on 3D because I think it did look good. I think that it's worth it, and the special effects justify the 3D aspect enough. But it's not a make or break for this movie. It's not one of those movies where it's like, if you didn't see it in 3D, you didn't see it. It doesn't really fall in that category. But overall, I definitely suggest watching this if you enjoyed the first one. If you haven't seen the first one, do not watch this movie until you have seen the first one. You'll be able to follow it, but it won't be anywhere near as good
Nope.
if you did not see what occurred in the first movie, and that's very important. Sometimes you can skip one. This is not that case.
I really enjoyed the special effects of the decayed Chicago. I thought that was pretty amazing. The pacing issues that were kind of more prevalent in the first movie were not in this one, so that was kind of needed, to make the story go by faster. Shailene Woodley, I think she excels in this character. It's one of her better ones as far as where she has Fault in Her Stars, which is amazing, her performance in that. So she's way better than like a Bella or anything like that. She's more up there on the level of Jennifer Lawrence, Hunger Games. I enjoyed that in the first movie they only concentrated on 2 different factions, and so they wanted to give equal playing to all the factions. So that was kind of neat to see different factions and how they handled their different things, because you have the faction list, and then you have the Candor, and then you have the Amity. So it was nice to see the development of those people. I feel some people were very underutilized in this movie, like the actress from The Help. She was underutilized in her spot. But otherwise, the effects of this movie made it what it was. I do feel that the effects are another character in this movie, because you have all the simulations that she has to go through, and they are a character. They make the movie what they are. Those just in general were amazing. I think that this was actually done very well for 3D.
I like this movie. I enjoyed the first one, and I enjoyed the aspect and everything about this movie too. This one was more action-packed. It had more going on and had me thinking more than the first one did. Because I was thinking, what's going to happen? What's next in this one? Is this going to happen or not? And that's what was going through my head. The first one, I was more like I was enjoying the ride and I was just watching it. This one just had me thinking, which I like that. I like that I actually had to think in this one. The 3D was awesome. Especially, I don't want it to be a spoiler alert.
Doing the simulations?
Yeah, the simulations
That's not a spoiler.
Yeah, the simulations was that was fun. Yeah, it was awesome when you could see it and you're just like, oh, it's right there. You're like, yeah, it was cool. So enjoyed this movie. I really hope there's another one, because I really want to know what happens from here on out.
4 books.
Yeah, but it only depends on how well this movie does.
I liked it. It was good.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give this and why?
I liked it. It was good. Yeah. The reason for not any higher is because I liked it. It was good.
I would give this movie an 8 out of 10. It's with the effects and the acting, how it was done for the age group that this is presented for. I think that it is a very good movie to go see.
I give this one a 9. I enjoyed it. I will see it again, and that's all I'm going to say.
I give this a 9, and the reason I give it a 9 and I don't go any higher with it is because some of the acting and lines in the movie were really bad. So while that doesn't ruin the movie, it definitely brings it down a notch for me, because a couple of them broke immersion. They say the line, you're like, oh, that kind of hurt a little bit. Other than that, it was a great ride. It was more of what I wanted to see, was really excited about it, and I was not let down. And normally when you're really pumped and you're excited about a movie, that's when you tend to be disappointed, because you put it up here, and even if it's a good movie, it didn't live up to expectations. I was very happy with this movie, so solid 9 out of 10.
If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so already. Like this video, favorite it, share it, like us on Facebook. Want to give a shout out to Jeremy Dizon, who actually commented on last week's Cinderella review. He said his favorite adaptation is Ever After with Drew Barrymore. So thank you for that. Appreciate it. I'm curious to know, what is your favorite dystopian movie? Go on ahead and throw that down there in the comment section below. For me, I love Waterworld. Kevin Costner, mutant, water, gotta find an island. Delicious. Love it. And as always, we're letting you know before you go at Brennan Theaters. Oh my God, is this real? When you're living in a collective society and you're divergent and that's being told is bad, that kid. That's not a spoiler at all.
I would have said
if I had said whatever, then that was a spoiler.
I better bleep that part out.
What?
I really enjoyed that aspect. Just cough by the camera?
I covered my.
Oh, you covered your mouth. Okay.
I'm not gonna cough without covering.
That's good.
I'm not that.
As long as you covered your mouth.
I covered it. With my
I'm
shirt,
sure the
not
mic
my
didn't
hand.
pick it up.
He's just staring at my body. It's a little awkward. I really... What?
Sorry, also make a mention of the 3D too.
No.
Because we saw it in 3D.
No.
Yeah, you have to.
No.
So, I really liked it.
I liked it. It was good.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.